What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today we're bringing you the day one build diary of the Spectral Helix Deadeye League. Started with 3.18 Sentinel League. There is a lot of good things that this build is doing, and it's performing pretty much how I expected. I got a decent claw roll, so I'm doing a little bit more damage than I expected. There are some unexpected things that happen this league, like the way Arc Nemesis is interacting with just how we play the game. If you don't know, Arc Nemesis League was a league where you would have like these monsters in these like shackled down, and then you can activate them, but you'd give them like really tough mods and you could stack them. But that mechanic was taken out of the game, but it was implemented that mods on enemies, like rare enemies and even magic enemies, will now have the Arc Nemesis mods. And saying they're a bit of overtuned is an understatement. I didn't get a good clip of it on the maps I was running to get videos for this, but every once in a while you'll either run into an enemy that will one-shot you on sight, or it will be unkillable. So you just have to avoid it. And unfortunately, that happens a lot. Especially if you're farming essence, you'll really notice this a lot. The essence will pop monsters. They'll be rare. They'll have like 3 mods, and sometimes they're super juiced. Now, this was overtuned, and it was already nerfed in a patch on day 1, but they're still a bit overtuned in my opinion. They're not as bad as they were in the beginning, because the first, I played like the first 6 hours of League Start, and oh my goodness, one-shot central, you could not live unkillable like during the act, during the progression of the gameplay. You run into a rare enemy, you run away from it. That's your game plan. Now, I don't think it's as bad. I'm obviously not running the campaign anymore, so I can't vouch for that. But as for mapping, early mapping, they're slightly overtuned. It's kind of tough, but it's a challenge, a little rewarding. It's hard to tell sometimes, because sometimes you Sentinel buff them, and that mixed with the Arc Nemesis mods on the monsters make it way too hard. So I don't know if it's like purely overtuned. I think they're at like a decent spot. They could keep at this spot. It's just going to be a little harder, especially if you're a newer player this league. I kind of feel bad. Rare monsters are way scary. Another thing you'll notice is that when you kill the map boss, the map boss feels like one of the easier mobs on the map. The map boss I can kill like twice as fast as rare monsters. There are some rare monsters you can still one-shot because they don't have good mods on them, but you'll run into mobs that will be 3-4 times harder to kill and do more damage than the map boss, which I don't think should be in the game. I don't think that's realistic. I think that's fair for like Metamorph, because you're building it, you're choosing to make it harder or easier by yourself. That's how Arc Nemesis worked. But when a rare monster just spawns on the map already super juiced and you had nothing to say about it, he sees you 2 screens away and one-shots you, that's not as fun. So that's my 2-piece about the rare mobs being overtuned. But it did get patched. I mostly played unpatched when they were super buff, so I am a bit jaded. But I did play a little bit. I didn't notice any super unkillable ones when I started playing when I woke up in the morning, so that's just how it is. Next thing I want to talk about is the Sentinel League. So Sentinel League is really fun. The little robots you can spawn are very, very rewarding if you use them at a good time. Obviously, Pandemonium is the one that makes it so it chains a bunch of enemies, and really good to use when you like open a strong box or a breach and wait a little bit, or just stuff you can just like wait to get a big screen, or you can pull packs together, get some super juice on it. That's very rewarding. The Apex is also rewarding. It juices the rare monster or the map boss, so pretty good. overall. It makes the, if it picks a rare mob that's already juiced, you kind of screwed yourself over, so good luck. You could get the benefiting Apex Sentinels where they give you a buff, or they like sap the enemies, or they give you like an aura and stuff like that. They give you like wrath. So they can like help you, or they can make the mob harder, so that's your choice. And lastly, the Stalker Sentinel, which I thought was the most vanilla. It just shoots a beam out, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the lame one. But I was kind of wrong. I think Stalker Sentinel is right now the strongest one for early contention, because the Pandemonium one, you have like, it shoots once, and if it hits like 30 enemies, that's how many enemies it's going to hit. If there's over 100 enemies on your screen, it'll do over 100, which is really good. But the problem is, early maps, your maps aren't super juiced, your pack size isn't majorly huge, so you're not fully taking advantage of it. Whereas the Stalker Sentinel, pretty consistent. The duration's really long, and you can, like, obviously you can get it pretty long for any of them, but the base duration is like 50 seconds, which is really long time. And then your charges are, like, I think 75 is base, is what I'm looking at right now. And then you can buff it. Oh, I guess it varies per type of thing. Anyways, regardless, what I'm trying to say is that the Stalker Sentinel will hit a ton of enemies, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get like the max amount if you use it like beginning to middle way through your map. As long as you have enemies that you could eventually run into within that like 50 seconds, you're gonna get your full juice out of that Sentinel. So Stalker Sentinel, very consistent. I'm liking it a lot. The cool thing is that I didn't know is that if you use your controller, you can spec it so you can use all three of them, and you can use all three of them at once. I thought you were gonna have to pick one per map, like, oh, I'm gonna use Pandemonium and that's all I'm gonna use. No, you can pick all three and then just use all three once per map, and that's really awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with using all three of them. I'm glad I didn't have to just choose one. You're just gonna have to choose to juice one, because you're not gonna have enough juice in your thing to pick all of them. So that's how it's gonna work. And yeah, so that's Sentinel. Really rewarding so far. That's how I'm getting a ton of my currency, a ton of my essence, and yeah, that's about it so far. It's going to be rewarding rolling them, trying to get like probably like scarab or currency drops on your Sentinels and stuff like that. Just an additional chance to get like those kind of empowerments is going to be very strong. And now we're going to get into my build. So I played Spectral Helix Deadeye. Very strong. I got a pretty good claw, I would say. For day one, I got T3, T3, and then I rolled attack speed. I did get some other ones that were like a T2 and attack speed and crit, but apparently dual T3 beats a lot of those. I was running the DPS calcs on my PoE. Actually, I can still show you guys, I'm pretty sure. So some of these are some of the other claws I was testing out. So what you do is if you go here, type in your name to import. I don't want to get rid of my character, but there's like, you can type in an account name. I typed in my name, got my character, imported it. And then I copied the claw. So if you hit Control C, and then Control V right here. Oh, it's not working. There we go. You'll import the claw, or you can like add things to it if you're like, oh, I'm potentially going to craft it, so you don't have to waste a craft to see if it's more DPS. So that's what I was doing, and you can roll your claws, but apparently this Imperial Claw is my best one. These Gemini ones were weaker when I thought they were going to be better. So Sag. Anyways, they're pretty, and I ended up this Gemini Claw that I was like wanting to use. You can see it right here. It's good fire roll, really good attack speed. It crafted crit, because I already had cold and lightning. I had like dog tier lightning, and I had like T8 cold or 7 cold maybe. But regardless, it looked like a really good claw. Like, looked far better than my other one, and apparently it's not. So I was kind of sad about that. I sold it for like 10C day one, so let's go. It's worth. And yeah, I got a 5 link right away. That was really good. Got like life on all my pieces of gear now, so I was rocking like 2,500 life, and that was pretty rippy. So I paid attention to gear, started getting as much life as possible on my gear. And now I'm at 4.2. I want to hit that 5K mark to be a little more comfortable. And yeah, my currency is looking pretty decent. I'm looking to potentially start buying some things because my currency is pretty good right now. But honestly, I'm jamming through. These are the maps I've completed. Highest tier I've completed was a 7 so far, or a few 7s. I was actually running a bunch of 7s, and I'm pretty comfortable. So I'm gonna start running 8s and 9s because I feel really comfortable right now with this build. So it's really fun. So it's pretty much performing exactly how I expected. You guys can go and watch the League Starter build I posted for this video if you guys are interested in seeing more content on like how I was expecting, and then you guys can like compare it or whatever if you really like considering using this build. It's performing exactly how I want to. Some of my links are dog right now, so I need to relink some of this stuff because I don't have, there was one thing I don't have going right now is my skill. I don't have a oh, that's my own build. You can download this POB that I'm showing right here in the description down below, so make sure you check that out. So I'm not running a tornado onslaught hydrosphere. I need to start running the syndicate, get the helm enchant or helm craft that gives me focus, and then once I get focus, some of you were asking how focus works. Literally, you get any piece of gear that says focus, and you'll get a new skill on all your skills over here, and one will just be called focus. And I forget how long. It's like a cooldown of like 5-10 seconds. I forgot the cooldown, but honestly, you can use it a lot, and then you can get a lot of pieces of gear that influence that focus. So let's say like I think this had another example on your amulet. Yeah, skills cost no mana or life when focused, so that's pretty good. You could use some shenanigans like divine blessing, life tap, wrath if you wanted to. If you wanted some extra damage on your auras, if you don't know, divine blessing is a new skill from last league support gem, and it's a temporary buff to like it gives you a temporary aura, so it gives you it for 9 seconds. You can increase it with increased duration, but it does cost mana, and it costs a decent amount of mana, and we will normally not have the mana to use it, so we're going to use life tap, and then it'll use our life, which is a decent amount, but we can regen it really easily. But if you have that amulet craft that I was showing you right here, you can pop the focus and then pop divine blessing on your wrath, and then you're good. So that's an option. It's a fun little tech that you can use just to boost your DPS temporarily for like bosses and stuff. So if you want some extra juice, there you go. There's a little tech you can use. I don't think I'm going to use it for this build. I haven't decided. I'm just going to be looking for that focus craft for the time being. And yeah, so passive tree looking pretty good. So technically I got to level 76 or 77, one of those two levels from day one, and now I'm 79 because I was running maps early in the morning just to kind of wake up and grind. You know how it is, gamer stuff. And and yeah, this build is really fun, really smooth. I don't really have any more things to update on my I'm just trying to complete my atlas. I noticed I didn't post my tree that I was going for. I forgot to grab strongbox, but I'm basically grabbing harbinger. I don't know, I might scrap essence because essence is really annoying because you have to fight those rare monsters and sometimes they're unkillable. I'm gonna go definitely strongbox, definitely harbinger. Those are my two favorite mechanics in the game. And then I'm gonna start going with some expedition. So expedition, as you can see, there's some right here. That's why we went right side, so we can grab that and that. And then there's expedition right here as well that we can grab. So expedition is one of the strongest mechanics for making money in the game, if you don't already know that. And then we could also go with harvest, which is also conveniently on the right side and up here. So if you wanted to, you could probably grab all of these at the same time. Harvest, you just grab like these few nodes. This harvest is really good because more chance to contain additional harvest is really good. That's just like free crafting of your gear. So like day 1, 2, and 3, harvest is like the best thing in the game, and then falls off later, and then kind of catches back up as well. Because during that middle time, you have like all your gear kind of set, so you just want to grind for currency, and then at the end game you'll start doing like metacraft stuff. So that's why it kind of falls off in the middle, in my opinion. But harvest very strong, kind of. I think it should be taken out of the game, but we can have that argument another day. And yeah, so and then you can pick whatever mechanic that you want. You can follow someone else's tree. Grimrow has a bunch of farming trees if you want to be super softcore grinding. He has some really good trees, but basically do this path that I'm doing right here. But then you grab this harvest, or expedition. You grab these expeditions over here, and then that's pretty much everyone's elite start tree, because expedition is just too strong for making early currency. And that's all I wanted to talk about. I probably forgot to include a few things, but yeah, if you're still watching, I had to re-record this video because I forgot to add gameplay, and yeah, I just did. So we're gonna grab a doctor, get our doctor really quick. Doctor, yeah, good doctor. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for checking me out. I will probably update this video, or update this build. I don't think there's going to be a day 2 update. There'll probably be a day 3 update, and I'll just combine them together. Day 3 I'm not going to be able to play as much, but I think day 2 and day 3 combining will be enough content, enough upgrades in the build to showcase to you guys, hopefully. If not, I'll just do like a week 1 update, and there'll be big changes, obviously. Hopefully I'm tornado shot by then. Actually, I'll make a video before I swap to tornado shot for sure, just to show you guys like how I got here, what the build like finalized to look like before I swap. Obviously it's not like an end game gear if I'm like planning to swap, but yeah, anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for checking me out, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.